Tranquil. That was the word that came to mind as I walked through the Monteverde Cloud Forest Reserve of Costa Rica in February of 2020. Odd that a word associated with peacefulness and calm would come to mind as I was surrounded by the croaking of frogs and different noises of the jungle. I grew up surrounded by water, with many lakes and ponds in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I remember always being fascinated by the different amphibian species that I would see. The two main points that I'll be discussing today are first, an overview of what the golden toad was, and second, what the most likely causes of its decline in the wild were. The golden toad, a symbol of the extinction crisis. To start, I'd like to talk about what makes the golden toad special. First discovered by the herpetologist J. Savage in 1964, he thought it was a toad dipped in paint due to its bright color. They are believed to have been around for about 2 million years, first appearing during the Pleistocene epoch, which started about 2.7 million years ago and ended about 11,700 years ago, which is the period of time that included the last ice age. An endemic species to Costa Rica, they were found nowhere else on the planet. Specifically, they were found in an area ranging about 1.5 square miles, with a reported population size of about 1,500. Has anyone else had a chance to visit Monteverde or a jungle before? Small in size, they were about 2 inches in length, with the females being slightly larger. Despite their size, they stood out from their surroundings due to their bright color. The males were a bright orange, and the females were a darker charcoal with red spots ringed in yellow lines. They are believed to have lived underground in damp soil for most of the year. They would appear annually after the dry season came to a close in March or April. The males would gather in large numbers around pools of water, sometimes outnumbering the females 8 to 1. The tadpoles would appear a few days later and would take an additional 4 to 5 weeks for metamorphosis to be completed. Now that we've gained an understanding of the golden toad's discovery, description, and breeding conditions, let's talk about their downfall. In the length of time that it takes most people to earn an associate's degree, they completely disappeared from the wild from when the decline was first noticed. Though the cause ultimately remains a mystery, there were 2 theories published in Conservation and Society, a peer-reviewed open-access journal by Professor Dr. Leticia Ochoa et al. At the Faculty of Sciences, National Autonomous University of Mexico. The most popular theory is that due to their population size and specialized breeding conditions, a few years of bad weather could be all it took to cause the decline. After breeding began, success was contingent upon the weather. Too much water during the rainy season would cause the young to be washed down the mountainside, while too little would cause the pools of water to dry up. There was a drought in 1986 and 1987 in the region that overlapped the toad's breeding seasons. This is the best documented and widely accepted hypothesis for their disappearance. The second prevailing theory is fungal infection, which is linked to other amphibian die-offs globally. Chytrid fungal disease causes sporadic death and 100% mortality among other populations. This was a disease found in Costa Rica along with other microparasites. Difficult to detect, these microparasites cause high mortality when exposed to populations living under non-ideal conditions, which includes crowding and high temperatures, 2 factors known to be at play for the golden toad in those years. We've covered a lot of history of the golden toad today. Let's recap what we've learned. Discovered in 1964, they existed for about 2 million years. An endemic species with a small population size and specialized breeding conditions that were very dependent upon the weather. A fungal disease known to affect amphibians, along with other microparasites, was found in Costa Rica in later years. The golden toad, a symbol of the extinction crisis. I'd like to share a final thought. Life, in all its forms, is fragile, and we must do our part to protect it. Thank you.